Well, because I come from a communist country. That's why. Because I had to escape a communist country. Canada is a very violent and very communist nation. Now, in Canada, if you're willing to tote the party line, for example, Justin Trudeau and all of his perverted ways of doing things, and believe me, he is a weirdo. If you tote the line about LGBTQ rhetoric, if you were to tote the line that radical Islam is somehow good for Canada, then you make a lot of money, and you do quite well. But if you criticize these things, and I know this for a fact, the Canadian government will just lock you up, which they've done to me for 7 months of my life, just for being a good podcaster, just for speaking out against the immaturity and the silliness of my former country. Now, communism is such that fascism will always be a part of it. There's always going to be things that you simply cannot do in a communist country. Now, in communism, of course, our government, my former government, always wanted to come out and tell all of us that we'll take care of you. You're going to have great health care and free education, and anything that you need, you just come and see us and we'll give it to you. Well, it didn't quite pan out that way. Canada's medical system is 20 years behind Brazil, and it's socialized medicine. Canada's education system puts us somewhere around 45th to 48th in the world. It's garbage. The kids that come out of Canada know nothing by the time they've been trapped in school for 18 years of their lives. On top of all of that, there's Section 319 of the Canadian Criminal Code, which essentially says if you offend somebody, they call it willful promotion of hatred. If you offend someone, you can go to jail for 2 years. Now, this is used as a political weapon, just like with Donald Trump having the law being used against him so he can't run. This was done to me in 2017. I announced I was going to run for mayor of my hometown, Mississauga, population 1.1 million. The current mayor, her name is Bonnie Crombie, didn't want to run against me, didn't want to debate me, had me charged with hate speech under Section 319, and found a couple of people that she knew who just didn't like me to say that they were offended by what I said. Now, keep this in mind. As I'm speaking to you, this is the end of November of 2023. That criminal charge was thrown at me in May of 2017. So if we had a non-communist government in Canada, any intelligent judge would have just thrown that out, recognizing the fact that it was political. All right. So now, America, what's happened is you've taken lessons, I guess, from Canada on how to be more Hitleristic or communistic or fascist, and you're doing the exact same thing that I begged Americans not to do 5 to 7 years ago. So how do I know what communism is? I lived it for 22 years, from the year 2000 up until the end of 2022, and then even worse off in 2023. I lived it, where you're not allowed to have opinions, that dissent. You're not allowed to even be white or Christian, right? The policies, hiring policies all over Canada became, if you're a white male, we're not going to hire you right now because we've decided other races are superior to white people, or perhaps inferior, and we're going to give them the job so as to do what? Balance things out? That's what communism is. Taking away everyone's rights to suit a narrative that only the leading party of the country owns at that particular time. Well, you've had a taste of it, America. How are you enjoying Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? How are you enjoying the Democratic states all falling apart? How are you enjoying having your rights to speak and your rights to pray publicly taken from you? This has been going on in Canada for 23 years. More, probably. And now you've got a taste of it. And you're asking me, how do I know? Man, I've lived it, and now I'm watching all of you live it. I don't think maybe you recognize it yet, but I really hope you do soon.